this chat out. Stretch that down. Sound check. I know I'm not talking straight into the microphone when I'm faced like this, but I think you should still hear me good enough. Just want to make sure everybody can hear me. Let me go to YouTube, my channel. The live stream. Let's copy. Mute that. Let's copy that. Now close that. Hey, welcome to brothers. Let me get this YouTube live stream link out to some people. Give me just a moment. Trading view. Now Twitter. It will only be about 45 minutes long. My wife's cooking dinner. She said it'd be ready in about 50 minutes. I set a timer for myself. Here we have 46 minutes remaining before dinner's ready. So I'm saying this will be about 45 minutes long. /delete. We should get a picture up now. There we go. Let's also copy all that because I need to put that in Discord. Trade chat. Now let's go to public chat on my Discord. I want to alert everyone. Alright, so we'll give it a couple of minutes for people to arrive from Twitter, from Discord, from TradingView before we get started. On my end it says 3 people viewing at present. Probably more, but that's what it says on my end at present. Oh, I did not mean to do that. There. Get that up. Get that up. Alright. I think we're ready, but let me check Discord one more time. Let me go to the premium chat room. Alright. Hey, welcome everyone. We're still waiting just a little bit longer. That's how much time is remaining before it's dinner time and we quit the stream. So I believe we can at least cover Bitcoin and Cardano during that time. I'll provide a little bit of education, not a whole lot of education, while providing analysis, analytics. Wait about 2 more minutes for some people to arrive, then we'll get started, which will leave us about 41 and a half minutes to cover Bitcoin and Cardano. If we have some extra time after that, we might get into S&P 500. And I've only had about 3.5 hours sleep, y'all. So bear with me if I seem kind of off, where I may say level 80 when I meant to say level 20 or something like that. I do that sometimes. Or I might call a preliminary support range a preliminary supply range when I meant to say preliminary support range. Sometimes if I haven't had much sleep, I say things inaccurately. We'll wait about 1 more minute, 1.5, 1 more minute, then we'll get started. Thanks for signing up, being a premium member, the brothers. Appreciate that, bud. Well, first off, when you say when will you finish the new script, first off, that script will not be made available to premium subs. No, I'm using that script to eventually automate signals. That's going to be the purpose of that script, or actually of those scripts. It will be at least 2 of them. One to open and close long positions, one to open and close short positions. Each of which will have about 2,500 to 3,500 lines of Pine script, each one of them. So about a total of 5,000 to 7,000 lines of Pine script. As far as when it will be done, I believe it can be done before the anniversary of WyckoffMode.com, which is December 4th. We started December 4th, 2021, where we went in beta. We've been in beta since then, and I'm quite certain it will be done and ready. We're providing signals, by then. At least providing signals manually, at least by then. But we're getting very close. A few days, no more than a week, before we begin actual writing of the script. Then the actual writing of the short script, 2,500 to 3,500 lines. Then the actual writing of the long script, 2,500 to 3,500 lines. That may take 4 to 8 days. Then once that's done, then there's testing for probably at least a couple of weeks. And during that time, yes, I will be on Premium Discord providing signals manually when I'm awake. Signals that are provided by the script. It won't be automated yet. That's not until later. But that's just to kind of give you a timeline. Alright, I'm going to transition over to this and this. Let me get this correct. I should have already had it correct before I started the live stream. For whatever reason, TradingView's messed up now, y'all. It's just gotten to where it's virtually impossible to upload video publications I create on TradingView. It's gotten to where it's practically impossible to upload. I went ahead and downloaded the 20-minute. It let me download the 20-minute video I created on TradingView. The downside to that, though, when I downloaded, it's only 36p 360p resolution. That's it, 360p. I uploaded that to YouTube. You may see it there at the moment, but it's not the best quality as far as a viewing experience. It's just not at 360p. So I decided to do a short live stream. 45 minutes is short for me. Those that have followed me for a while, 45 minutes is short for me. All right. Let me make sure I got all my time frames here. We do. And let's go to 1 week. Let's go to the midterm group, the 10-day. The highest time frame in my group of time frames for swing trading. Potentially, I haven't decided yet, but that's where I'm leaning at the moment, the 10-day. The 10-day, the K line is not above level 80. The 9-day is. 9-day, the yellow K line is above level 80. Since it's above level 80, well, first of all, why am I even concerned with that? Well, I've bypassed as far as where we would have opened a long position here. But for a swing, at the time right here, let's go and move this vertical timeline to right here for a moment in the 2-day time frame. All right, at this time right here in the 2-day time frame, what was the highest time frame in which our K line was below, I say again, below level 20? What was the highest time frame for swing trade now? For swing trade. Well, I'm saying the highest time frame in my list of time frames at present for swing trading is the 10-day time frame. So I went to the 10-day time frame. We see this aqua vertical timeline right here. The yellow K line of the stochastic RSI is not below level 20 there. It's not. So let's go to 9-day. It wasn't. Let's go to 8-day. It wasn't. Let's go to 1 week. It wasn't. Let's go to 6-day. It was not. Let's go to 5-day. It was not. 4-day. It was not. 3-day. It was not. 2-day. It was not. 24-hour. It was close, but not. Let's go to 12-hour. This would have started out as a scalp because now, well, actually 12-hour is also used for swing trading. The 12-hour time frame is used both. It's in my list of time frames for both scalping, high time frame scalping, and for low time frame swing trading. 12-hour time frame is in both of those list of time frames. Well, right here, the 12-hour was the highest time frame in which the K line was below level 20, but it is actually right there. Right there. Let's cut 12 hours in half. That would be 6 hours. This right here. Now let's cut 6 hours in half. That would be 3 hours. All right, the 3-hour time frame. Let's also do this. Let's make the text larger. Let's also make that easier to see with aqua. 3 hours is our highest time frame of 5 time frames to use for opening. So 3-hour time frame is the highest of 5 time frames used for opening. Now let's cut 3 hours in half. 3 hours is 180 minutes. Let's cut 180 in half to 90 minutes. That's the next of 5. 2 of 5 time frames. Let's cut that in half. 45 minutes. That's the third one. Let's cut that in half. That's 22 and a half minutes. So let's just say round up to 23 minutes. Let's cut that in half. Oops. Cut that in half. That would be roughly 12 minutes. Let's just say 12 minutes. All right, there's our 5 time frames. The 3-hour, 90-minute, 45-minute, 23-minute, 12-minute. Where we need to see what? Move right here. I need to see the green rising greater than 20. Check. We got that. I need to see the ARI, Phoenix ARI, rising. Also the ARI gamma needs to be 0.5. I may end up having 0.45. But right now I've been going with 5. But yeah, we'll just leave it with 5 for now. All right, green needs to be rising, greater than 20 when rising, check. ARI needs to be rising, greater than 20 when rising, check. That's in the 3-hour. Now, 90 minutes. Let's go to that vertical timeline. Need the green rising right there. It is. and it's greater than 20 when rising. The ARI is rising and greater than 20. Also, the red needs to be greater than 10. It was, and it was in the 3. Let me make sure. Let's go back to the 3 hour to make sure. Yes, the red line was greater than aqua level 10. All right, so we've already checked the 90 minute to the 3 hour and 90 minute. Let's go to 45 minutes. I'm just going back in history where you would have first opened a long position. All right. Now looking at the 45 minute, is the green rising right there at that vertical time? Excuse me, is the ARI rising and greater than 20 when rising? Yes. Is the green rising? Yes. And it's greater than 20 when rising? Yes. So let's check for that on the 45 minute. Now the 23 minute. We'd cut that in half. 45 and a half. We don't have 22 and a half minutes, y'all, so I rounded up to 23 minutes. Now that's right here. And let's also click replay and go to about maybe right there. So I'm not having to scroll back as far as often. All right, the 23 minute. Again, we need the ARI rising and greater than 20 when rising. Well, right now it's falling there a little bit, that 23 minutes. So let's go to the next 23 minute candle where we need the green rising. In the Phoenix ascending indicator, we need green rising and greater than 20 when rising, and we need the ARI rising and greater than 20. We got that. Red's greater than level 10. Check. All right, let's cut 23 in half to, I said 12 minutes. Where we need the ARI rising and green rising, and they're both greater than 20 when rising, and the red's greater than 9. Now let's go backwards from 12 minute. I think we do. Hold on. 3 hour, 90 minute, 45 minute, 12 minute. No, we need to go back one more. The 6 minute. Where we need the green rising, green rising, and the ARI rising, and they're greater than 20. Both of them are greater than 20 when rising. So the 6 minute, the 12 minute, we got that. ARI rising, green rising, both greater than 20 in the 12 minute. Then let's go to the 23 minute that we had originally, where we need the green rising, greater than 20 when rising, check, and we need the ARI rising and greater than 20 when rising, check. Let's go from 23 minute to 45 minute. I'm just going through all of them again, so you see that that is in fact the case. I have not touched this aqua vertical timeline anymore after we went through all the time frames. I'm going back up to let you see the green is rising, ARI is rising, they're both greater than 20, the red line's greater than 10. Alright, now let's double the 45 minute to the 90 minute, where the green is rising, greater than 20 when rising, and red is greater than 10, ARI is rising. Now let's go to the 3 hour, where the green is rising, greater than 20 when rising, the red's greater than 10, and the ARI is rising. So a long position would have been open there. Alright, now once that long position was open there, what time frames do we use to close the trade? Well, now we need to ask ourselves, what time frame is the highest time frame at that time in which the yellow K line is above level 80. All right, that was the 2-day time frame. It would be easier for me to stay full screen with that, because I should have started out in the short-term group right there and I wasn't. But let's do this. That was the 20th of October. I can see now that would not have been until over here. Let me do something here real quick. I can already tell we're going to open and close a trade several times. I can already tell that. I'm going to fast forward. No, in fact, I'm not even going to do that. Let's stop the replay tool for a minute to save time. We're back in the 2-day time frame. I don't know, we might have all right, let's go to 20 October in the short-term group. Let me close that, or excuse me, not close it, but delete it. Is that 20, or did I say 30? Did I say 20 or 30? 20 October. Wow. That's going to be right. Damn. Really? Yeah, 20 October. And yeah, that's the 2-day time frame. Here, and what time? Well, we'll see what time. Just a second. When I say we'll see what time, let's go back to the 3-hour time frame. 1,500 hours. That's going to be on that 6-hour candle. That just doesn't seem right. Oh, that's 21. Okay. At 1,500 hours. So that's going to be right here. Right here. All right, the highest time frame at that time in which the K line is above level 20, it's going to be a relatively low time frame. I can see that right now. Let's go to the 90-minute. Yeah, I can already tell that was going to be a pretty low time frame. It's probably going to be about like the 30-minute, possibly the 20-minute time frame, where in the beginning when opening that up, you probably would have used the 5-minute time frame to close that trade. I'm not going to go through all that. I'm not going to get that detailed. I need to start here. Instead of multiple times going through where you would have opened and closed, then opened and closed again, and then opened here again. You wouldn't have opened a short in here, and I'm not going to get to explaining why you would not have opened a short in here. Not going to do that right now. Just because the way I have my system designed now, you would not have opened. You might have opened a short here. In here, I doubt it very seriously because of what was going on in higher time frames. Let's go and start right here, which was 25. No, hold on a second. I think I'd rather start here, y'all, rather than going back all the way through all that stuff of opening and closing trades. Let's go here. Let's go and go here. Sorry to waste your time there. What was the highest time frame at that time in which the K line was below level 20 to open a long? 4 hour, what did it look like right there? No. 6 hour, what did you look like right there? Close. What about the 8 hour right there? Close. 12 hour right there. It was the 12 hour. The K line was below. See, actually it was 20.7, but it closed at 20.7, but I guarantee it was below 20 before it went above 20 and closed right there. So 12 hours. Let's cut 12 hours in half to 6 hours. Let's cut 6 hours in half to 3 hours. That is our first time frame of 5 time frames. So again, it'd be the same ones again. 3 hour, 90 minute, 45 minute, 23 minute, 12 minute, 6 minute. Would have been those 3. All right, then once it was opened, what was the highest time frame at that time in which the K line was above level 80? Let's go to the 90-minute time frame right here. It wasn't quite above level 80. Just to make sure, let's look at the 120 minute. Yeah, the K line's above level 80 right there. All right. That was 2 hours. Let's look at 3 hour. Nope. Right, so in between 120 and 180, I do have a 150 minute time frame where the K line was not above level 80. So let's go back to the 120 minute, which is 2 hours. The K line is above level 80. So after this long was opened, I see the highest time frame in which the K line is above level 80. That would be the 2 hour time frame. Let's cut that in half to 1 hour. Let's cut that in half to 30 minutes, which means at that time we would have used the 30-minute time frame to close this long position if conditions are met. All right, so let's go to the 30 minutes. What are the conditions? Well, we need the green falling, less than 80 when falling. We also need the ARI falling and less than 80 when falling. Well, it didn't matter even right here when this green line went below level 80 and is falling. Was the ARI also below level 80 and falling right there? No, it was not. I'm just showing you how we would have opened this position here, this long position, and when you would have determined, if necessary, to close that long position. But wouldn't you agree that if we were just using the 30-minute only, the 30-minute time frame only to close this trade, that's where it would be closed? I think everybody would agree, according to my conditions there. That's where it would be closed, right at this purple vertical timeline. But let me tell you this, you would not have used the 30-minute time frame to close this here. Why? Because now I guarantee you there's likely a higher time frame than the 2 hour time frame in which the K line is above level 80. Let's go back to the 2 hour, where initially in the beginning when we opened, the K line in the 2 hour was above level 80. Well, now we're about here in the 30-minute, but hey, we wouldn't be using the 30-minute time frame to close that trade. Why? Because look at the 3 hour. The K line was well above level 80. Look at the 4 hour. K line's above level 80 right here. Let's look at the 5 hour. The K line was above level 80 on this purple vertical timeline that I placed in the 30-minute. And again, that's the 5 hour. Let's look at the 6 hour. The K line's not above level 80. Therefore, let's go back to the 5 hour. The 5 hour divided by 60, or excuse me, multiplied by 60, that's 300 minutes. 300 minutes. Let's cut that in half to 150 minutes. Let's cut that in half to 75 minutes. At that point in time, you would not have used a 30-minute time frame to close that trade, that long position. You would be in the 75-minute. So let's go to the 75-minute time frame. What condition do we need? We need the green falling, less than 80 when falling. We also need the ARI falling. It is, but is it less than 80 when falling right there? No, that's not until not right there, but right here. But hey, would you have used the 75-minute time frame to close this trade right here? Because what if now, instead of the 5 hour being the highest time frame in which the K line's above level 80, what if the 6 hour now is above the K line? In the 6 hour right here, see how if this purple vertical time, here's level 80, well, that yellow K line is above level 80 in the 6 hour. What about the 8 hour? No. So let's go back to the 6 hour, where the K line is above level 80. Let's cut that in half to 3 hours. Let's cut that in half to 90 minutes, where now the 90-minute time frame would have been used to close that trade. Now, if you were watching this live, that's a hell of a wick. That is a hell of a wick. Let me move this so you can see. That's a hell of a wick right there, below where this candle closed. It's probably a pretty good idea. I would be willing to bet that that K line, before that candle closed, before this 90-minute candle closed, that K line was falling, and it did go less than 80 when falling. I'd be willing to bet that it did. But did the green line also go, but it was falling, but did it fall below level 80? Well, it closed above level 80. It was 82.3. I know that by looking over here. It was 82.3, but I guarantee you that wick, though, when it was coming down, I guarantee you that green was below level 80, and the ARI was below level 80, but they closed above level 80. All right, but if they go down below, both of them at the same time go down below level 80 at any time, this is also, let me say this, this is also the reason why I believe I want to include the red line not only in opening positions, but also when closing positions. What's the requirement for the red line to open a short or close a long? Now let's say, well, the red needs to be less than 90 to open a short or close a long. The red needs to be greater than 10 to open a long or close a short. Well, that would be right here. The red was below 10. Well, the red needs to be above 10 to close or short or open a long. Well, here at that purple vertical timeline, was that red below aqua level 90? No. That's what would have saved you. And I guarantee you that candle, that red, did not go down below 90 during that wick. I guarantee you it didn't. I'm saying that to say this. That trade would not have been closed. That long position would still be open. Well, if you go to the next 90-minute candle, now the ARI is rising. I know the green's falling and less than 80 when falling, and now the red line is less than 90. But is the ARI falling and less than 80 when falling? No. No. That trade would not have been closed yet. Would have been closed in that wick? It's hard to say. That is hard to say. That is another reason why I do not like the strategy tester on TradingView. Why? It does not record every single minute, store into a hard drive what the level was every single minute of this 90-minute candle. All it's storing is the close, what the levels were of each indicator at the close of that candle. So as far as anyone trusting a strategy tester, especially in higher time frames, using higher time frames, good luck. You better testing live manually yourself. I had to find that out the hard way. That includes the replay tool. If you use replay, it is not storing in a hard drive the level of every single minute in this 90-minute candle, or every single minute in a 4-hour candle, or whatever. It's not doing that. I'm telling you, you're not properly testing your indicators or your strategy scripts using the strategy tester on TradingView. You're not. It's best to just manually test it live. But that takes time. All right, but anyway, let's just assume that, we don't know for sure right now, but let's just assume it wasn't closed yet. But also, you have to take this into account. Now that we moved over one click, I was right here where the red line was not below level 90. We would not have closed that long position. We go to the next one where the red is right here at 90. But hey, is a higher time frame higher than the 6-hour time frame? Is there a higher time frame in which the K line is above level 80? Well, we made it up to the 5-hour. Let's go to the 6-hour. No, excuse me. No, we made it up to the 6-hour. K line is above, well above level 80. Let's go to the 8-hour. Here's level 80. Here's the purple vertical timeline, and the yellow K line is above level 80 in the 8-hour. What about the 12-hour? I skipped the 9, 10, and 11-hour. I'm not going to explain why. All right, the 12-hour, the K line's way down here. It's not up here at level 80. So let's go back to the 8-hour. That's the highest time frame in which the yellow K line is above level 80. Let's cut the 8-hour in half to 4 hours. Cut 4 hours in half to 2 hours. So now we're in the 2-hour time frame. We're in the 2-hour time frame. In order to close this long position that was open down here now, it was open down here. In order to close this long position, that green needs to be falling. It needs to be less than 80 when falling. The red line needs to be less than 90. It's not. And the ARI needs to be falling and less than 80 when falling. Did any of that occur? No. Do you realize that long position would still be open? It would still be open. More than likely, I know we're not able to see every minute of every hour, 1 hour candle and whatnot, but that long position from right here would still be open. Would still be open. There's a chance in these wicks down, this one right here, there's a chance in that one where that may not have been the case. You might have ended up closing it. But as my premium subscribers also know, I've explained it to them once, or maybe twice. I think I covered this. It may have been this move. I think it was this move where I covered in a recent live stream how you would have opened a short here, closed it, then opened a short again to close it about right here. Made a little bit of profit, but odds are very high right here. That long, you would at least came out with some. If you did close it, would have been right in here. You still would have made profit from there to there. When I say you still would have made profit, now what I'm telling you is with no leverage. This percentage, if you ended up closing it just below that white lower B-band when it wicked down in there, let's say if it did meet requirements, well, that's 0.97% or 1%. At 6x leverage, that's 6%. At 10x leverage, that's 10%. But with no leverage, 0.97, or let's just say 1%. I'm not going to take the time to show you how, if you did close it here, you would have ended up open a long position, getting right back in it again. I'm not going to get into that. Plus, also, I'd have to get into other details in lower time frames where you would be required to use 6 time frames to open that long position then instead of just 5. And I'm not going to get into why on here. That's reserved for premium subscribers. All right, so that's just to point out how using this system, this strategy with the indicators, how we would have, opened a long position, may have potentially closed it and opened it again. But when this went up and came down, you didn't close right here. Now, because the requirements didn't meet right there to close it. Why? Because the red line was not below level 90 in the closing time frame. It wasn't. That's why you wouldn't have closed it. Then the K line would have went higher in the 8-hour time frame, where you're no longer using the 90-minute time frame to close the trade. Now you're using the 2-hour time frame to close the trade. I am quite certain my system that I've created here is on point. I got it now. I got it. Now I'm just fine-tuning it, in that I am fine-tuning the inputs of the gamma for the ARI. I was playing around with the inputs for the Phoenix Ascending, going from 9, 6, and 3 to 9, 6, and 2 on the inputs, but I determined that's not necessary. No, that makes the green line way too sensitive. It's too sensitive. So I'm keeping it at 9, 6, and 3. So now I'm just left with the inputs on the gamma for the Phoenix ARI, and I've been kind of monitoring 4.0, 4.2, well, excuse me, 0.40, 0.425, 0.45, 0.475, and 0.5 on the gamma to determine which one do I want to use in my scripts when providing signals. But I'm getting very close. Once I got all that, then it's a matter of writing down every single set of time frames for opening positions. It could be 5 time frames. It might be 6 time frames. It depends. I'm not going to explain why here. Also, what single time frame are we going to use to close the trade? I just gave an example of how you come up with that single time frame to close the trade. For example, if the K line in the 8 hour was the highest time frame, the 8 hour was the highest time frame at that time in which the K line was above level 80. If it was, then you cut 8 hour and a half to 4 hour, cut 4 hour and a half to 2 hour. Now you're using the 2 hour time frame to close your trade. What's the condition for closing the trade? I need the green falling, less than 80 when falling. I need the red. Doesn't have to be falling. I just need the red less than 90, period. And I need the ARI falling and less than 80 and falling. Those three requirements that I would use for closing the trade. All right. Why did I explain all of this? Why did I explain all this? I've had some people on TradingView in comments and on Twitter, YouTube, saying this guy's a terrible analyst. Where I'm basically providing my opinion on what could be occurring in the future using higher time frames. But hey, market conditions can change between the time that I provided that analysis of where we could be going, what we could be doing in the future. Market conditions can change. I guarantee you, I have a means of determining that if those market conditions change, what do I need to do exactly when they change? Just because I'm not sharing that on TradingView does not mean I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Seriously, it does not mean that. And I'm going to prove that to some people here soon, to the deniers. And I look forward to that day. I'm going to be smiling my ass off whenever I get to that day. Probably shouldn't be like that, because now I'll be getting like them who enjoy seeing somebody else in discomfort. I can't stand people like that, and I really don't need to stoop down to their level, enjoying seeing their discomfort and that I'm being successful in my methods and strategies and system. I really don't need to be like that. All right, so again, I pointed out all of this just real quick for opening and closing, that you would have opened a long position. You might have closed it one time, then opened it again. I'm not going to get into how you would have done that. That's reserved for premium subscribers. But you would have been in this trade. You would have been in this long position. You would have. And it'd be going up, and you would have a signal of when to get out of that position, when to close that position, when to potentially reverse your position. Instead of no longer long, now you're short. Seriously. You would. All right, just because I'm not on TradingView, Twitter, YouTube, or whatever, at every time when the market's about to move, saying, all right, y'all, we reached our peak, now it's time to close that long and open that short. I'm not doing that. I've been investing my time perfecting this system. First, designing and engineering this, coming up, I've spent thousands of hours doing what I've been doing, growing constantly all the time. There's always room to grow, y'all. There's always room to improve yourself in many ways. That includes myself. There's always room for improvement to grow. So don't be closed-minded. Be open-minded and civil while listening or looking at other opinions. Because you might learn something, even from somebody that you don't agree with or that you don't like. They may say something that is actually on point, and you have to agree with them. But yeah, there's always room to grow for improvement. All right, right now, at the moment, let's go back to transition for my charts. Yeah, I'm the Huckleberry Granddaddy. Yeah, it's important that the opening and closing of trades be dynamic, variable. It is folly. I say again, it is folly to assume you can just always use a fixed time frame or always use a fixed set of time frames to open and close a position. Because now you're assuming that the market conditions are always the same amount of volume, same amount of volatility, etc., etc. No, all of us know that is not the case at all. That is the furthest from the truth. That's why so many scripts and bots fail, because most of them, majority of them, are not dynamic. They are fixed, set, just watching certain time frames all the time. That's why they're failing. See, and I've devised a way of making it dynamic, not fixed. Because market conditions can change. How do we determine when they can change? Well, that's where the yellow K line of the stochastic RSI, I don't need the magenta D line of the stochastic RSI. I don't need it. I was using it before as part of my conditions, but I determined I no longer need it. I just need that yellow K line. That's it. And I'm only using it for one thing, and one thing only. When is it time to potentially open or close a trade? And I'm using that K line so that if it's above level 80 or below level 20, I cut in half and cut that in half again to get the time frame I need for closing, or cut it in half again to be my first time frame of 5 time frames, possibly 6 time frames, it depends, for opening a trade. And that can always vary. It depends on what time frame is the highest time frame in which the K line is above level 80 or below level 20. That's what makes my future script that's about to be created, that's what makes it dynamic. It's not fixed. That's the key. All right? But also the Phoenix ARI is key. Very key, because it actually helps keep you in the trade longer. But not only that, y'all also saw an example where the red line kept us from closing that long position too soon because the red line was not below level 90. We kept it open. It was not ready to fall down. Because when that red line is way up here above aqua level 90, it has a long ways to fall to get below the white upper B band. It has a long ways to fall at that point. If the red, like right here, let me go full screen with this in the 6 hour. Here's level 90. Man, are you serious? Man, my 40-something minutes is over that fast. Wow. All right, I'm going to keep going for just a minute, for a few more minutes, y'all. I'll have to come back to this. All right, where was I at? What was I about to... Oh, I remember what I was about to do. Level 90. Let's thicken up level 90. Let's make it super thick. All right, right there. The red went above aqua level 90. The price is going up above the aqua upper B band. But note this, when that price action begins to fall down below the aqua upper B band, the red is about to fall down below aqua level 90. Now it's time to close it. Now it's time to close it. All right. But hey, I gave myself an opportunity in case it went up higher. I still stayed in it in case it legged up again. So it's also folly to assume you're always going to be able to buy in right at the very bottom and you're always going to be able to get out right at the very top. If you think you're a terrible trader because you can't do that, but you're still making very good gains, I'm sorry, you're in the wrong profession if you think you're going to always be able to buy the very bottom and sell the very top. No, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. But that's just to provide an example of how the red line, why I have the red line as a requirement. as well. It needs to be below level 90 to close a long. It needs to be above level 10 to close a short. Also, it needs to be below level 90 to open a short. It needs to be above level 10 to open a long. That's part of my requirements. All right, but I still see that we're going up at the moment. What time frame is the highest time frame we are using at present to close this long position? Well, we already see the 6 hours greater than level 80. What about the 8 hour? Yes. Now we jump from the 8 hour to 12 hour. It's not. And if we look at the 24 hour, K-line's not above level 80. Look at the 2 day, that's the highest time frame in, I see now that yellow K-line was down below 80, y'all. It was down below level 80. Now it's sideways above level 80 because the price is going up. That means you cut 2 days in half to 24 hours. Cut 24 hours in half to 12 hours. Which means at present you would be using the 12-hour time frame to close this trade. What's the requirement for closing it? We need the green falling, less than 80 when falling. We need the ARI falling, and less than 80 when falling. So we basically transitioned at present to where we would be using the 12-hour time frame to close this long position. This price is going up currently, but hey, let me say this. If sometime during this time the price action fluctuates in the 2-day time frame, which is the highest time frame for scalping, where are we in the 3-day? Wow. K-line's above level 80. What about the 4-day? Right, see, now we're getting into swing trade territory where we're wondering what time frame do we use to close this swing trade. I want to say it was up to was it the 9-day time frame? Yeah, in which the K-line is above level 80. Cut that in half to 4.5, round that up to 5. Cut 5.5 to 2.5, round that up to 3. You would be using the 3-day time frame at present for your swing trade to close this swing, to close this long, if you were only focusing on swing trading. But technically right now, y'all, if I were you, I would be using the 12-hour time frame. Be using the 12-hour time frame. I'll be paying more close attention to that at present. Because if it does turn out closing conditions meet and you close it, according to my system, you will have an opportunity to get back into that long position again, providing conditions are met in certain time frames, meaning this is still going up. If it is going up, the indicator is going to let you know if the odds are, the chances are it is going up, and where and when to enter. All right. Let's see. Yeah, so right now it's the 12-hour. But if sometime for high time frame scalping, looking at this 2-day time frame, which is the highest time frame used in high time frame scalping, the yellow K line is currently at 80.4. That's above level 80. But let's say it begins coming back down and the yellow K line goes below level 80 in the 2-day time frame. If it does, that means you're no longer using the 12-hour time frame to close that long position. You would then go from the 2-day to the 24-hour. Is the K line above level 80? No. You go from 24-hour to 12-hour. Is the K line above level 80? No. You would have ended up going back to the 8-hour time frame. Cut that in half to 4 hours. Cut that in half to 2 hours. You would be using the 2-hour time frame to close that trade again instead of the 12-hour. That's if the K line, the yellow K line in the 2-day time frame, falls back down below level 80. Since it's no longer above level 80, you're no longer using the 12-hour time frame to close that trade. You would basically end up using the 2-hour time frame to close that trade then. And I've already covered what the conditions are for closing that trade. Green line falling, less than 20 when falling. Red line doesn't have to be falling, but it needs to be below level 90. Also, the ARI needs to be falling in less than 80. All right, where are we going up to? I did mention that in the TradingView 360p resolution video, that it looks like we could be going up to somewhere in a range between 23,500 and 25,350. 23,500 to 25,350, somewhere in that range is where it looks like we could be going at present. Let me get these time frames correct. What time frame is this? What group of time frames am I in? Okay, this is the near term group, so I need to change that to the 2-day time frame. Let's delete that. Let's delete that aqua vertical timeline. Man, I smell that dinner. It smells good too. The white aqua upper B bands, when the red and blue lines go above white level 30, that does, number one, the red's going above white level 30, increasing the odds of going up from the white lower B band towards the basis. When that blue gets above white level 30, that increases the odds of continuing up from the basis to the white aqua upper, especially if that red's about to go above yellow level 50. That means the price is about to go above yellow B-band basis. It's about to go above it. The odds are quite high of it doing that to go to where? The white aqua upper B-bands in this weekly time frame. Is there a chance for it? And first of all, the white aqua upper B-bands in the weekly time frame, let me increase the font size so y'all see the price of everything. Let's go full screen with the weekly. And you see the white upper is 22,341. Let's just say 22,350 to 23,350. Let's say to the aqua upper. White aqua upper is currently 22,350 to 23,350. But hey, we might get expansion up here, y'all, in the weekly. Why am I saying that? If the red and blue both go above yellow level 50 at the same time, that can create cause for the B-bands to expand, open up. Like here, when the red was below 50, right here. The blue's already above 50, but the red's below 50. When the red got back above 50, along with the blue, what happened? Expansion up. Red's above 50, no expansion yet. When the blue gets above 50, what happened? Expansion up. All right, so that's what I'm getting at here. Don't assume 22,350 to 23,350. Don't assume that's it. We might get expansion up in this weekly. All right, let's go from the 1 week in this near-term group to the 8-day. We're 23,750 to 25,350, let's say, is the white aqua upper B bands at present, with 4 days remaining in this current 8-day candle. The red in the 9-day is not quite near yellow level 50 to justify the price action going up from the yellow B-band basis to the white upper. Not yet. The next 9-day candle begins 7 days from now. Hey, but also, I did not make a flat statement saying that we will not go up from that yellow B-band basis to the white upper until the red line gets to yellow level 50. You did not hear me say that, because I also know this can occur. What can occur? Overextension up can occur. If that price action goes up to that white aqua upper B band, all of a sudden, is this red line up here at the white aqua upper area? No. If that red line is not up there, it cannot help support the price action staying there, meaning it's coming back down. That's what I mean by that. So I'm still thinking somewhere between 23.5 and 25,350. Somewhere in that range at present is where we're looking at what could potentially be. Let me reduce the size of this. of what could potentially be an automatic rally. And let me go ahead and do something here. 25,350 is about there, and 23,5 is about there. All right, somewhere in that range right now. And let me go ahead and put a horizontal ray right there, and a horizontal ray right there, where you see the price 25,350, let's say, to 23,5 or 550. Somewhere in that range is where we could be going up to there too. You did not hear me make a flat statement and saying we will go up there. No, you did not hear me say that. That's the way it's looking at present, but market conditions can change between now and then. They can all of a sudden. It doesn't happen very often where it just all of a sudden wham, slam down, or boom, goes up. Usually it's organically, but sometimes some type of manipulation or something for whatever reason occurs and the market moves all of a sudden. That was the reasoning behind, one reasoning of several, as to why I created the system that I created to help me determine when I should open a long or short position and when I should close it, because those conditions can always change. And I'm creating that system of conditions for high time frame scalping, low time frame swing trading, high time frame swing trading, and possibly also for investing, meaning 6 to 8 different scripts to provide different signals for whatever type of, in other words, we could be high time frame scalping constantly all the time, then all of a sudden here's the low time frame swing script telling us, hey, we got a long signal. That means this high time frame scalp long position that we just opened here could be right at the beginning of a major swing to the up, or when I say a major swing, a small swing to the upside. What would be considered a small swing? Right here, where we go from this, if this is accumulation, we go from this second test of support to a simple rally. That's a small swing. What's a big swing? Here's a big swing. Small swings are simple rallies, test of support, simple rallies, test of support. We go up again, but in that case, it wasn't just a small swing. It ended up being a major swing. And that's where the midterm group for high time frame swing trading. Low time frame swing trading is the near term group. High time frame swing trading is the midterm group, along with a couple of time frames in the long term group. But the purpose of having, eventually creating several scripts for different types of trading is so that, like if we were a high time frame scalping, opening a long position, then it just so happens shortly after opening that we get a signal from the low time frame swing trading, which lets you know when we could have a small swing approaching. It signals saying, hey, we got a small swing approaching. So this high time frame scalp long position you just opened, you may end up leaving it open for quite a while because of the signal we just got from the low time frame swing trading script. That's basically where I'm going with this, where I'm leading to this on WyckoffMode.com. That's where we're heading. That's where we're going. That's what I'm building to. I'm also working on making the B-bands dynamic. I'll mention that more later on to premium subscribers, what's going on there. The purpose of the B-bands is to determine when we have very little volatility or a lot of volatility. That's helpful to know as well, to determine when or when not to open a scalp, let's say. All right, but again, we could be going up to around 23.5 to 25.350, 23.5 to around 25.350, somewhere in that range, where I am expecting a pullback. If we all of a sudden just take off, that would take me aback. I'd be totally surprised, but I'm not going to say what we're going to do from here until we get there. We'll cross that bridge when we get to that bridge. Let's see what the indicators look like if we get there. I believe we could be going there. But can market conditions change between here and us potentially going there? Sure, that's possible. It can all of a sudden just wham, just like it did right here. Went up pretty good, then wham. That might happen. That might happen. That's why it's instances like that where I've learned you must be careful making flat statements in this profession. You got to be super careful not to make flat statements in this profession, because market conditions can change. That's why I devised a means of monitoring, analyzing those market conditions and when they can change and what should I do when they change. All right, but I'm just going to keep this to Bitcoin for now. We're not going to go into Cardano or S&P 500. I've already gone over my time allotted that I allotted myself for this stream. I smell dinner going. I'm hungry. I haven't had much sleep, but I'm going to go and call this quits, y'all, on this stream for now. And I'm probably going to change the title to just Bitcoin, not Bitcoin and ADA, Bitcoin and Cardano. No, it's just Bitcoin, and leave it at that. Thanks for joining the stream. I appreciate that, y'all. And if you don't mind, click like. That helps support the channel. Potentially get me up in the queue. If you don't mind sharing the live stream link on Twitter, or it's going to be a recording of this, but share it on Twitter, Instagram, whatever, any other social media, I would certainly appreciate it. But yeah, we're going to go and call it quits, and I'm about to eat. And I hope y'all enjoy the rest of your evening. What's today? Is today Thursday or Friday? Today is Friday. So I also hope you enjoy your weekend. But I'm still here. I'm still testing, but I've got it down to now where I have my system right in how to do things, how to choose what set of time frames to open or what single time frame to close. Now I'm fine-tuning inputs, mainly the gamma input on the Phoenix ARI. That's really pretty much the last thing that I'm at. I'm testing that. I'm live testing that. I'm not doing a strategy test for that. I already explained why earlier in this live stream. And it takes time to live test. All right, but once I figured out exactly what gamma I want on my Phoenix ARI, then we'll begin actually building the script. Actually building. And I partnered up with somebody else who wants to remain private, and I'm going to respect them for that, that they want to remain private. But I'm working with somebody who's building the script with me. But that's just to let also premium subs know where I'm at on that. We're getting close, and I'm excited. But we're getting very, very close to doing some things that I know is out of the norm. I doubt very few people, if any, have ever seen a system like this that I've created. But you'll see. There's more yet to come, especially premium subscribers. You'll see what I mean. You haven't seen everything yet, but you will see. All right, but yeah, let's go and call it quits. I'll stop rambling. And as always, everyone, stay awesome. And thanks again for joining the screen. We will go ahead and close it now in 3, 2, 1.